Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. I am Deborah Walker, your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. At Leadership Speak, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything that we do. Our timer has their virtual hand raised so everyone can see who is keeping the time. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, who will lead today's meeting. Leya Musunga is a Toastmaster enthusiast and has enjoyed her leadership journey in Toastmasters. She joined the organization in 2020 and Leadership Speak in 2023. She is based in Gaborone, Botswana, and has previously served as Vice President of PR and Vice President of Education of Gaborone Toastmasters Club, as well as having served as an area director, and she is currently the Division Director in District 74. Please welcome with me, Leya Musunga.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for that lovely introduction, and welcome everyone to our meeting today, the 30th of March 2024, and I'm excited and looking forward to the meeting today. I should probably say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because I'm sure this meeting we have people joining us in many different time zones. And one thing I can say, as Deborah said, I'm coming from Gaborone, Botswana, and whenever we greet, we always say Dumelang. So I'd like to say Dumelang to every single one of you who is joining us for our meeting today. And our meeting theme today is resilience in leaders. And basically, what is it to be a leader who is resilient? Resilience is the human capacity to meet adversity, setbacks, and trauma, and then recover from them in order to live fully. A resilient leader have the ability to cope with disruptive changes and adapt, and they bounce back from setbacks. So I'm sure the speeches that you're going to be hearing today, this theme will definitely come through, and you'll hear about, especially our educational speaker, talking about being a resilient leader. So one of my roles this day is to basically guide the meeting. And I would like to invite other people who will be helping me along the way, as I'm not going to be doing this task all by myself. So I'd like to first invite our first role player, and that would be, sorry. Before I come to inviting our first role player to the virtual screen, let me first invite Meltem to the virtual stage to give us the toast before we get started with the rest of the program.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Today, we are here to reflect on resilience in leadership. And that theme reminded me the profound resilience of living organisms in nature. Charles Darwin said, "It is not the strongest of species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one is the best adapt and adjust itself to the change." So from the resilience perspective in nature, I would like to look at nature as a broader picture, we can say that it is unpredictable, uncontrollable, and sometimes even very cruel. Just as in nature, in our work environments, service positions at any organization or anything in life, we can say that it's like nature, which is uncontrollable, unpredictable, and it can be cruel. So in those cases, our ability to be resilient and to thrive in those adversities defines our potential leadership skills, which is a great quality that all of us should have. The resilience, especially for the work environments when sudden changes occurs, when we face with a mobbing or a rotation in unexpected negativities, we should be able to overcome these things with grace and with strength. And I would like to invite you for the toast to resilient leadership. Please unmute and raise your glasses to resilient leadership.
Resilient
Resilient
leadership.
leadership.
Resilient leadership.
Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of today.
Thank you so much for that toast, indeed, to resilient leadership. I would then now like to invite our timer, John, to please come to the virtual stage and tell us about his role today.
Hello, members, guests, and visitors. I am John Ojefo, the timer for today's meeting. I will time all speakers according to the times on the agenda, and I will post the times of each speaker at the end of each section. And I will be showing the timing cards, the green, amber, and red backgrounds according to the times of the agenda. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, John, for that. And he just referred to the agenda, which you will find in the chat in case you want access to it to find out what will be happening today. It's available for you so that you can be able to follow along as we move along with our program for today. I would now like to invite our, what I like to call the speech police, our grammarian, Angeli, to please come to the virtual stage. There we go.
Woo! Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is grit, which means it is a personality trait characterized by passion and perseverance for long-term goals, similar to conscientiousness and actionable hope. It is actually a big 5 personality trait, which people that have this trait are dependable, disciplined, and can reach their goals. An example of using this word is, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Only gritty people have tenure to reach their final goal. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that. And as said, normally when a word of the day is introduced, it's encouragement to every person who comes to the virtual stage to use that, incorporate it somehow in whatever it is that you will be saying. So I'll try and think also of something that I can say to incorporate the word into my speech somehow during the rest of the program today. So we'll now move along with our agenda. And I'm sure if you have looked at it and it's your first time joining us today, you might be shocked like, oh, there's a speech for almost 20 minutes. Yes, here at Leadership Speak, we always have a leadership speech that is presented. So that would be your normal speech that you would find in any of the programs, but then just expanded to at least 20 minutes to try and help our members to be able to speak much longer. So our leadership speaker for today is Hannah Schmidt. And before I call her evaluator to the virtual stage, I just want to share this about Hannah that she sent to me about our theme for today. She said, building up resilience in leadership for Hannah is to recover quickly when pressure is removed. The pressure will always be there, and as self-directed leaders, we are able to step up. So I'd like to invite our evaluator, Sandra, see she's already on the screen, to please give us Hannah's speech objectives.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, Hannah is taking leadership style and expanding that. So I'm going to be watching to see how a leadership style 5 to 7 minute is extracted out into a keynote, because that's really what a long speech is. She's from the Visionary Communication Leader, Understanding Your Leadership Style. This is very small print for old eyes. And she's going to share some aspect of her chosen leadership style and styles in general, because nobody is one style, everybody is many styles. Share some aspect of the chosen one and discuss style preferences when working with others, and how to adapt the chosen leadership style to situations or leadership styles in general. It's going to be an interesting run, everyone. Over to you, Leya.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for that. So with the speech title, Step Up, Hannah Schmidt, Step Up. You have the virtual stage. You're muted, Hannah.
This muting. Okay, let me start again. Leadership is unlocking people's potential to become better. Bill Bradley said that. Have you ever had that desire to unlock your potential, to become better, build resilience, speak with the members instead of to the members? Madam Toastmaster, Hannah, that's me, did not desire to be a leader. Just going with the flow was so much easier. No decision-making, no responsibility, no accountability. Just be easy going. This unconcerned attitude followed me all of my childhood and into my early adult years, until I realized leadership encourages greater ownership and with it, greater responsibility. Being curious and anxious to learn more about it, I started on my journey to step up. But before that, what is the purpose of leadership? Why do we have leaders? I have asked myself. What is so important in being a leader? And how would this stubborn and impulsive person, Hannah, find the direction and vision to motivate herself, inspire herself, and of course others, to help create that environment that leads to achieving common set of goals. Hannah was always looking for some validation in whatever she achieved. Would she ever conquer this validation addiction? A bit fast forward. Toastmasters International, they offer a test to establish your competency as leaders. I ventured into this, and the result showed, well, I expected an answer like autocratic, authoritarian leadership. This would have fitted me perfectly, like a glove. Even a pace-setter leadership would have been fitting for me. I excelled in athletics, where it is customary for me to set the pace, be the winner, reach for that finish line as quickly as possible, be the first in everything I do. Finishing high school, I had my first experience in real authoritarian and pace-setter leadership. Here, I was at the receiving end. I was at the receiving end of an autocratic and pace-setter leader. We worked under an extremely authoritarian boss and experienced how difficult it was for us, the employees, to adjust to this type of leadership. The employees felt discouraged to give feedback, and this led to less creativity and no innovation. Hannah would not be successful in taking up her career under this leader, and I quit. Do as I say. I set the pace. That is a no-go for me. Yet, to my surprise, the test showed that my style score was coaching leadership, including mentoring, followed by servant leadership. And this result surprised me. For this headstrong and impulsive Hannah, have I now found the key to unlocking my leadership potential when I undertook this test? Would I ever be able to be a coaching, be a servant leader? Hannah, a leader to help other members to develop their skills and to build their resilience in leadership for them and for me to step up? This sounded impossible for me. Yet, I built that resilience. But before embarking on my journey, I was searching for a mentor who would coach and serve me. Another fast forward, Jessica, my very close friend, recognized my desire to conquer my validation addiction and become a leader. She invited me to join Toastmasters, and I joined. A decision I have never regretted. Joining Toastmasters has helped me tremendously in controlling my over-enthusiasm, my over-eagerness. Conquering my validation addiction and becoming a leader within Toastmasters has helped me in assisting my fellow members to excel. Occasionally, the bar was set too high for the members and made me wonder why they became stressed and overwhelmed. Yet, I realized to coach them and to serve them with integrity respect, service, and excellence had a far greater impact on them, and it showed results. Members are now keen to work on their paths, complete their levels, complete their projects. And altogether, 5 members from my home club here have achieved their DTMs. It was indeed a tremendous adjustment for me to become a coaching and servant leader. And I myself being led through coaching and mentoring. Yet, thanks to the resilience I have built up and Jessica's encouragement, this has brought out of me in the best. And I became learnable and ready to pass my knowledge to the world outside of Toastmasters. Joining the Old Wheelers Club and assisting them in organizing vintage car outings, I could now showcase my expertise of what I have learned within Toastmasters regarding leadership and communication. Peter, the Old Wheelers chairman, approached me. He said, Hannah, with your vast experience in organizing vintage car outings, please step up and organize the next Outwheeler outing. We are expecting visitors from South Africa and all neighboring countries, all of them with a vintage car. Sure, Peter, that can be done. With enthusiasm, I embarked on this challenge. Taking up responsibility encouraged me, and I took this opportunity with both hands to test myself and my coaching and servant leadership capabilities. With a team of inexperienced marshals, there was a great need to inspire, encourage, and especially to motivate them to raise their self-awareness. With the assistance of Tom, my chief marshal, we have coached our timekeepers to monitor and validate racing times. Our road marshals to report any incidents of misbehavior or the competitors. And most of all, our scorekeepers to keep an accurate statistics in the event and announce the winners. With enthusiasm and passion, my marshals accepted this and showed accountability. Showing them what to do through words and actions had a far greater impact than just telling them what to do. I let them feel that when the task is accomplished and things have been completed, all of them can say, we ourselves have achieved it. To say it in a different way, teamwork builds character and teaches people about leadership. As a team leader, you show them how amazing they are and not how amazing you are. At the end of each outing, all of us collaborate, listen, and evaluate our performance. How we can stop not believing in ourselves, how we can shake up any hurt feelings when we have received complaints from a dissatisfied member or even a dissatisfied competitor, and to step up, advance to the next level. The feedback we as marshals have received from the participants, club members, public, and the Old Wheelers management motivated us to rise to the next level, enjoy the responsibility of serving others. At the beginning of this project, my marshals were very hesitant. Peter was of the opinion, count me out. I cannot do this. Through coaching, the marshals, and servant leadership, A new generation of marshals is born. And they now can take over. A path has been created, leaving a trail. And the new generation of marshals can take over. Peter's answer, remember when he said, I cannot do this, turned into, I cannot do this now. Just by adding those that three-letter word, he showed self-awareness and triumphed and successfully bounced back. His potential as a leader has been unlocked. He now embraces personal growth and turns challenges into opportunities. He showed his grit. All the marshals have built resilience and leadership, and with calmness, commitment, and candor, they execute their new tasks as marshals. King Chaka had the words, a leader who has not prepared his team for his absence has failed as a leader. Absolutely true. I have now realized my weaknesses, where my weaknesses lie. And with the help of my mentor, Jessica, I have overcome that hurdle, or many a hurdle. Building up resilience and leadership for Hannah has now to recover quickly when pressure is removed. Yet, pressure is always present. And we as self-directed leaders are now able to step up. If there is no pressure, there is no challenge. In the words of Thomas Carlyle, no pressure, no diamonds. And let that diamond sparkle in your eye. Let that be the fire, the inspiration for others to step up and for you to leave a legacy. I understand my leadership style now, coaching and servant leadership. My potential has now also been unlocked. I now have a positive relationship and have the ability to recover quickly when all is not that rosy. And those times do come when you are a leader. You get setbacks. Take the grit, be resilient. Toastmasters, let us all take the tests offered by leadership or by Toastmasters International to unlock to unlock your potential, to become greater leaders, to build resiliency in leadership. I repeat the words of Bill Bradley. Leadership is unlocking people's potential to become better. Yes, to become better leaders. Step up, build the resilience in leadership. Madam Toastmaster.
Pressure is always present. No pressure, no diamonds. Thank you so much, Hannah, for that speech. Very interesting. I'm sure people have definitely gleaned something in how we can be resilient as leaders. I would now like to invite our evaluator for our next speaker. And okay, so our evaluator is Mrinal. If you could please come to the virtual stage to give us the speech objectives of Paramjit's speech. Mrinal.
Thank you, Leya. Thank you, Master Great Paramjit on technology. Today, Paramjit delivers speech from Pathways Engaging Humor Level 1 Project 4. Purpose for the project is to practice applying feedback, and served as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. So when I connect with Paramjit told me that you should focus on more on vocal variety. So I'll keep close eye on vocal variety. All the best to Paramjit Singh. Back to you, Leya.
Thank you so much for that. So with the speech title, Tears to Tears, Paramjit, Tears to Tears.
You're muted.
You are muted.
Shame, shame, shame. Get down from the stage. Any of you have ever faced this challenge in your first appearance on the stage? Toastmaster of the day and the fellow Toastmasters. I found this in my ordeal when one of my teachers assured me to give me shining grades in English if I deliver a speech on Mahatma Gandhi on the annual day. I was feeling very fortunate, intelligent, as well as self-assured that none of my foolish friends could attempt the way I am attempting. And overconfident on my razor-sharp brain, I practiced only the last moment. And as the time for my speech approached, my heart was beating even more than the band. And I could see the front seat people could hear it. As my name was called, I almost got frozen like a dessert. I got blank. And the confusion clouded my thoughts. I could just utter, my dear, lovely principal and respected friends. Mahatma Gandhi was born to his parents in hospital, and I could not speak further. And among these slogans, I stepped down from the stage, feeling devastated, frustrated, tears rolling down my eyes, with a vow to never go back to stage again. However, my ideal, my mentor, my elder sister could gaze the sadness in me. And she encouraged me that I have taken an initiative and advised me, Paramjit, prior practice prevents poor performance. So practice until everything got engraved in your brain. Practice is the key to achieve everything. It is a way to excellence. And that gave me a solace and determination again for another opportunity. Very soon I got another opportunity when one of my friends' group, Pawan's group, staged a play, a Sikh historical play. Eager to get a role, I approached him. And he said, Paramjit, what? What are you talking about? Have you seen your last performance? Are you Tom Cruise? Just see your face, just see your body, where I will fit you in. Oh, but I did not get discouraged. And I started assisting them in rehearsals as well as in the proxies. Everything was going smooth, production was going smooth, but there was one gap of one of the casting. The ruler cruel ruler Wazir Khan. They have tried about 10 people, but nobody could fit in that particular role. Frustratedly, one day Pawan told me, okay, now we only left with this Tom Cruise. Let us try him also. I took it really very seriously. I took the script, practiced it thoroughly, and forced Pawan to take my audition. And this changed everything for me. As I was chosen for the role of Wazir Khan, I did my best. I worked day and night with unwavering commitment to do my best until the last day of the show. As the curtain raised, I was sitting on a throne, clad in my kingly attire, pin drop music and total silence in the audience. Suddenly, the sound pierced everyone. He said, Fatsu, Fatsu, Fatsu Paramjit. They were like a bombshell for me. All the audience erupted into a laughter. I got again frozen and blank. However, I gathered my courage and grit, and depending upon the confidence I have gained because of my rigorous practice, I refocused on my role. And I put my heart and soul in the character. And when the curtain fell down, I was again with tears because I was chosen for the Best Actor Award in a thundering applause. My friends, 5P means prior practice prevents poor performance, is instrumental in transforming my tears of despair to the tears of joy. And this method I had been using for all of my life, of 20-year career in theater, after that in the Toastmasters. So I urge all of you to use 5P, means prior practice prevents poor performance. As well as, if you go further, the Winsel Lamborghini's word says, practice doesn't make it perfect, but perfect practice makes it perfect. Over to you, Toastmaster.
10 tears of despair to tears of joys with the 5 Ps. Prior practice prevents poor performance. Thank you so much, Paramjit, for that speech. Thank you so much for that. I hope we will remember the 5 Ps. I would now like to invite our next evaluator, who will be evaluating our next speaker, Mario. So the evaluator is Elena. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct.
Elena.
Elena, sorry.
No
Elena,
problem.
if you could, yes, if you could please give us the speech objectives of Mario's speech.
Mario is preparing us for wonderful experiences through his high competence and following path dynamic leadership level 4. He's going to present a 5 to 7 minute speech in a 10 to 12 minute event where he's going to manage a difficult audience. Now, the purposes of the based on the specs of the project, there will be 4 disruptions allowed, which have been identified by the VP-Ed and our Toastmaster of the day. So please don't feel the need to help out unless we get to the 12 minutes and we haven't had the 4th disruption. So we're going to help you, Mario, be challenged, not And I'm going to be evaluating not the content of your speech or what you answer, but how you manage your audience. So this is a very difficult project. We're here for you. And your title is, allow me a second to get my technology up.
Just for the Toastmaster of the day.
So back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And I said this is a managing a difficult audience speech, very interesting type of speech that is presented in Toastmasters. And prior conversations with Mario, he had actually indicated for the audience to really engage in disrupting his speech so he could really practice on how to deal with a difficult audience. So with the speech title, A New Chapter Beginning, A New Chapter Beginning, Mario, you may take the virtual stage.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing? Don't be shy, unmute, share your... How's everybody doing in this lovely evening?
I'm tired.
Oh, aren't you all? Everybody's tired. But here I'm excited to have my first speech in Leadership Speak. Now, why did I choose managing a difficult audience of all possible projects for an icebreaker? I always like to push myself beyond my breaking point, not just any challenge, but a difficult audience. It's a good warm-up, and besides, we're experienced Toastmasters here. We're not newbies. It's not like we are getting our feet wet. Yes, with roles maybe, but not with speeches. Levels 4 and above are expected here. Maybe levels 3 every so often, but level 4 is where it's at and above. And the chapter is a new chapter where I had many speeches leading up to this one. And I realized that they were all very mediocre, lackluster speeches for a leader. Yes, I've had some good speeches, but most of them were not the most exciting ones, at least not by my standards. I tried to stick to the objectives as much as possible, but the more I realized they were more communication-oriented rather than leadership-oriented. And I took the self-assessment that was provided by Brahm earlier 2 weeks ago. And I realized, yeah, I took the standout assessment, and I am a connector because I always, when I find people with similar traits, similar hobbies, similar backgrounds, I always try to connect them, or at least attempt to, because it's fun to bring people together. And that's my connection, that my men. Of the 9 traits, the one that stands out, second one is pioneer, because I do have a lot of ideas. I do have a lot of visions, so to speak. That's what it is. All these ideas that I want to share with the world, but sometimes you cannot. Excuse me, man. Are you okay? Drink a glass of water. Are you okay? Somebody get a doctor, please. Ma'am, are you still with us? Ma'am, I will do the honey, but I'm not there. Maybe drink some water. Everything okay? Lama. Everything okay? Okay. So where was I? I have a lot of visions. I have a lot of ideas that I want to share with the world, but you have to share it gradually. You can't just say, join a new club. Okay, I have all of these ideas, all these improvements we can do. Yeah, but there's a club's culture that's already been formed, some foundation that's been built on for the past 2 years. Then this Mario comes along and wants to change everything. Cool, but let's take it step by step. First, learn how to be grammarian, a timer, a greeter, work your way up to an evaluator, toast of the day, thought of the day. And then as you really start to feel the ambience, the culture, the club for what it is, then you level up slowly to ideas and things to improve on, like live streaming on YouTube to save up on the downloading and uploading from the cloud, or having a Google Drive that I think that didn't exist, but already does exist. So all these improvements that a leader wants to have them, wants to share them, but isn't still in the situation, in the position to do them. So it requires patience, it requires breathing in, taking it slowly. In the words of Brahm that I was kindly reminded to stay cool. Not cool, but put on black glasses, but actually relax, observe, and let things happen on their own. Because the more I try to push them in my way, they're just going to get more backlash, not backlash, but pushback. So a leader waits and plans and cultivates and communicates, not just say, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. Is there a meeting being recorded? Relax, enjoy. And that's what I'm missing, is I always want to help people. I always want to provide for them. The more I realize it, the more it's leaning towards not staying in my lane, but getting in other people's, because I don't trust, because I don't have that knowing that sure they will do the job themselves, they will do it right, but instead I always want to check up. Hey, are you doing this? Did you post that?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me, Maria.
I'm listening.
Please elaborate more on why you're struggling to trust people to assign them tasks.
It's subconscious that derives from my childhood. I recently learned this because my parents used the helicopter parenting approach, and always wanted to check up on me, make sure I'm doing right, never really giving me the freedom to learn things on my own. And unfortunately, I picked up on those subconscious, not templates, combinations, patterns, and started implementing them with other people.
And do you feel it's a good way to exert leadership as a leader?
No, that is the 180-degree wrong way, because there are different leadership styles. Mine is democratic. I want to listen to others before I come to a decision, but it's not good to always checking up on people because you're not trusting them. This is how I observe, and I want to be more trustful where I give them the opportunity.
Then how do you think the people that you are leading feel when you don't trust them?
I wouldn't say betrayed, but lose patience, and I get a back track record each time I check up on them. And I really had to remind myself to, even if things aren't running perfectly, just to let them go and let others learn from their mistakes. Because if I'm always correcting them, they will never learn on their own. They will always rely on Mario. Oh yeah, Mario will be there to help us or correct us or guide us in the right direction. But I can always be there because Mario will move on to other things. And if I want to become a leader, if I want to really lead by example, I need that grit in life, but I also need that patience to take it easy, because as soon as I start pushing and wanting, I'm not going to get far. I'm just going to get either the ignorance, the silent treatment, or just people are going to not really trust me that much. And I want to see the things that can be improved, but communicate it in a way that it's discussed and then slowly accepted, but with communication, not just come up with things on my own and say, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because then it's not fair for them, and it's not the proper approach for me. Because I joined Leadership Speak with the main purpose to let go of the shackles of being in control. I don't want to use that word, and it comes up negative, but it is. It's micromanaging in a nutshell. I realize that I'm still doing it, or we're all creatures of habits, and always when I try to improve it, and then I don't practice it regularly, after a month or two, those habits come back, and I want to nullify them, negate them, and just take it easy and just let go of things they can't control. If somebody didn't do the evaluation properly, I was a general evaluator. I don't want to
Hello?
let. Yes.
Hello? Yes.
Hello?
Can I help you? Yeah, no. Yes, oh yeah, I was supposed to come yesterday, right?
Leya, excuse me, we're currently having a meeting. Thank you, appreciate that. But maybe if you could mute yourself, that would be very nice. Thank you. It's easy to go back to old habits, and you want to correct that evaluator for not doing a proper evaluation as a general evaluator, and you always have 2 to 3 minutes, and there's 3 evaluators, and the meeting didn't go according to plan. You can only squeeze so much in those 3 minutes, because if you start talking for 7 and 8, even if it's constructive feedback, you're taking away from people's time. So you really have to select what to serve when, or then do it after the meeting and share a little bit more in detail. Hey, this could have been improved, that could have been improved. I always want to share everything during a meeting so others can pick up on the subtle, erroneous things that were done, like, I don't know, the Toastmaster didn't introduce the speaker's projects, or there was no introduction, this jumps straight into the speech. So these little nuances, or there was no transition when they were calling for 1 minute of silence. And these are all little nuances that I want to improve on. And yeah, become a better leader with confidence, conviction, and what was the third one? 3 C's.
Credibility, my friend.
Yes, I knew the C, but thank you, Brahm. I want to get the audience.
Why 3, not 4?
I don't know. Brahm, he invented those 3. Maybe if we can ask him for the 4th one, we can come up with what will be the 4th one? Craftsmanship.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
Courage.
Yes.
Courage.
So what are they again? Sorry?
I'm sorry, what?
What are they again?
Confidence, conviction, and credibility. Also critical thinking, courage, and something else that was mentioned. So we can add up on those 4 or 5 C's to as many as we can, but if you don't have all 3, or you're lacking one, then you're going towards the leader status. Well, not leader status, being a leader, but you're really missing out on a few things. So it's all about practice, but also communicating, learning, and being able to adapt, being malleable, flexible. Because if you stick to one route and you don't want to be bent in one way or the other, you're not going to get far. And it's really important to stay in your lane, learn from others, and slowly, as you get to know everyone, well, majority of people, you will understand that we all have common traits and we want to improve. And I want to improve myself by turning a new chapter, like a new beginning, and letting go of these old habits that are holding me back. Just really listen, observe, and become a better leader by example. It's no easy task, and I am still waiting for 2 other, if not 3, disruptors. Otherwise, that was a visual disruptor by my own evaluator, which I don't know where that's going. You have your hand raised. May I help you, Elena? Or no? Or you just have your hand raised?
No, I wanted to inform you that Anjali has been wanting to ask you a question for a while now. Thank you.
Yes, or maybe that's just the grammarian wanting to raise the word of the day. Yes, the grit, which I did use now for the 2nd time. Yeah, and the timer John is also raising his hand, so we're all collectively working here as one. With 2 minutes left from my speech, I can say that yes, grit does give me the 4 C's. but one C at a time. You need confidence, which currently I'm not really exuding as much as I want to. Am I convicted? No, because I'm jumping all over the place. I'm copying others, which I shouldn't be doing that. I should be more sticking with my guns. Am I credible? Remains to be seen, because this is only my first speech. I have many to go before you really get to know the real me. And critical thinking, it's a learning process. We will learn with time as the leader in me awakens. A new chapter, a new beginning. This is what I'm here for. And why I'm here. To learn from, so we can learn from each other. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Marian, for that. Start a new beginning. Grit gives you, I see someone has written in the chat, grit gives you the 4 C's. It definitely takes a lot of grit to be able to present a speech while people are disrupting you. So well done on that. We'll move on to our next speaker, but I'd like to invite the evaluator to come to the virtual stage. And that is Alina again, to just give us the speech objectives of Soundar's speech.
Good evening again. Our next speak is from the first level, the icebreaker speech of the presentation mastery path. Will be presented by, I'm going to need a little bit of help here because just took up the role, so I didn't have time to practice Sundar's name. Soundar. Thank you, Mr. Soundar. Thank you. It's an icebreaker. Is it 4 to 6 minutes? Yes? Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that. And when asked about resilience leadership, Sandra said, for him, it means to get out of a stuck state within the transformation to transform your outside world. And I definitely believe, obviously, because leadership speak, you have to have already done level 2. So this must obviously be probably his second or third time giving an icebreaker speech. So it takes definitely true grit to be able to introduce yourself. So with the speech title, San Sundar.
On 6th October 1973, there was an unknown race, whether it is the sun or an unnamed baby to be out first. And it was the son. Then it was me, the second child, Mr. Santhalakshmi and Mr. Subramanian. My brother Rajan is an elder by a year, and my sister Jamuna is an elder by 2 years. And I am Soundar Subramanian, my dear leaders and guests of Leadership Speak. I grew up with a large joint family with a 30-something head count. I used to imitate what the elders do. So I was liked by most and kicked by some. Received a lot of help, coaching, and bashings too. Studied in Sri Ramakrishna Mission Higher Secondary School, very average in studies and with no extracurricular activities. In my 12th standard, my friend challenged me to score more than 60%. And I tried my best and scored 72, which helped me to get a college admission and to become a commerce graduate in 1993. You don't know the triggers and you don't know you needed one. After college, I went for an interview in Yellow Pages, June 1993 it was. And one of the questions asked was how you would commute. And I didn't know the meaning of what commute means. And I was out of the venue with few other questions unanswered. This changed me permanently, and my love to speak English and the other languages began. Yet I started the TMI journey in 2017. It's going good now. The friend who challenged me helped me in 12th standard. Helped me to kind of join a chartered accountancy firm. And the chartered accountancy firm, they had a desktop with a Fox Pro in it. And we as an intern, we go and collect all the accountancy data or all the audits that we have done, and we provide it back to him with the general ledger, balance sheets, all those things in a documented way, manually created one. And you feed that information into the laptop and you give a report in 30, 45 minutes. And that fascinated me. I asked him what it is. And he said that is a computer. And he asked me what it is doing. He says it has a program called as Fox Pro 2.0. And that was it is in 1993. And the first time getting exposed to what a computer is in my life. And that gave me the spark to know what it is and I had to learn. So my love for learning languages went and the love for coding languages started. I joined Cholamandalam as a data entry operator after learning some of the basic courses like DBase, Foxbase. By spending more than 50% of my monthly earnings, I was earning 800 rupees and 400 rupees will go for the courses itself, the fees that I had to pay, monthly fees. So with that, I became an somewhat knowledge in computers and I joined Cholamandalam as a data entry operator. In 3 years from Cholamandalam, I became a database administrator. With this exposure, I moved to sell and implement database operating systems and implementing business intelligence solutions, thus becoming the IT guy from a commerce graduate to an IT guy that happened. This is from 93 to 1997 and 98. This technical experience helped me to go to US, and in 2001, I worked next to the lab of Thomas Alva Edison in General Electrical's Schenectady. After a few accomplishments in 2001, 2, and 3 in my career, August 2004, the marriage happened, and my son Kirti Varman, my spouse is a homemaker, and my son is enjoying and living his life as he wanted it to be. So no pressure from parents or any from society, but he is living his life what we have meant for. After college, I fell in love with books and they absorbed me completely. I got engrossed with the books and work that I love. Read Ayn Rand's Fountainhead by taking breaks from work and 2 days and Da Vinci Code. My role models, to name a few, are Sir Richard Branson, Nelson Mandela, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, MGR, and Kamarajan. I am not that active in social media till now, and that may change soon for my coaching and consulting firm Mahabodhi to evoke extraordinariness, familiar wording, right? Evoke extraordinariness. I spend my time in reading, studying, analytical studies is what I do with the data, and watch sports and times movies. I try to go beyond my limits that opened up doors to explore and experiment true self, thus stepping up my life and resilient to the changes. Now trying to master art of public speaking and also becoming a successful entrepreneur. It's a challenging life for past 11 years. I wish no one guessed that. Yet living an abnormal life as a normal one, that's extraordinary for me. And that's the beauty of life. And that's great. By adapting and adapting to necessities of my birth, I'm living and realizing my dreams. And with God's will, all my needs, wants, wishes are being fulfilled. And with required support at tough times. Brahm is one and Paramjit is the other person. To be the sun and the sun showing up every day, celebrating every occasion of birth and everybody's birth. We are all extraordinary. Is it not, Madam TMOD?
Be the sun and the sun. Very interesting words. Thank you so much, Sandra, for that, for presenting your icebreaker speech, introducing yourself to the club, telling us more about yourself for us to know you a little bit more. I'll now like to invite our next evaluator, and that's Vinod, who will be evaluating Angela, to please give us the speech objectives of Angela's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Angela is going to present a speech from the Path Persuasive Influence, Level 3, Project number 12. Speech is Inspire Your Audience. The purpose of the speech is for the member to inspire the audience. She has specifically told me to focus on her content, vocal variety, and gestures. Thank you and best wishes, Angela. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that. And when asked Angela about the theme of the meeting, she said, I composed this speech due to a sense of lacking control over my life. My life feels unpredictable and beyond my influence, resembling the theme of resilience. Dealing with ongoing health challenges has necessitated resilience in every circumstance to perseverance. So with the speech title, my life is up in the air. My life is up in the air, Angela Brown.
Have you ever felt like life has just tossed you into a whirlwind, leaving you in chaos and uncertainty? I would like to share my heartfelt story with you. Let's go back about a year and a half ago. My beloved brother-in-law, a beacon of light to our family, lost his battle with cancer. It felt like life, felt like the earth has just separated from under us, leaving us in chaos and uncertainty. At the same time, I was grappling with my own health challenges, but I ignored the symptoms. I just kept on moving. My body did not allow me to do that for long. And on a routine visit to the doctor's office, I passed out. This started a wave of medical doctors, maze of tests, and different specialists. My life felt up in the air. I had no control of what was happening to my body. Fast forward to present day. I'm on the eve of a medical procedure, a heart catheterization. This procedure should give all the answers. The doctor said, you have preliminary hypertension. Oh, wait a minute. You have pulmonary embolism. Lung issues, heart issues. They had no idea. I counted the days to this medical procedure. March 11th. One day, 2 days, 2 days. I counted them down. This procedure, even though it's invasive, would give me all the answers. The day came, I had the procedure. Now I waited for the answers, and I was told, well, we're certain that you have pulmonary hypertension. But what is the treatment? Well, you have to wait for your doctors. Go back to the specialist. Another waiting game. I got my appointment, April 2nd. I'm counting down the days again. 5, 4, 3, 2. It's almost here. This is the day I will get all the answers. When I had that procedure done, the doctor asked me, did you discuss what the treatment would be for pulmonary hypertension? I said, no, I just thought it would be a pill. That got me perplexed and thinking I should research more. I went to, who else? Dr. Google. Dr. Google gave me a list of treatment. My heart sank. Each one I read was more frightening than the next. Amidst all this confusion and uncertainty, my life is up in the air. I have no control of my life. I don't know where it's going to lead. I have no answers. But I realized a few things from this experience. One, I am not alone. I have support of my friends, my family, my loved ones, and of course, my Toastmaster community. A phone call, a text message, a WhatsApp message. I know they will be with me, even in my darkest hour. I have learned that I have grit, my own grit. With determination and courage, I can get through this. I am so pleased and blessed to go through this journey with you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Angela, for that speech. Definitely, from that, can definitely see the importance of grit and determination in the face of challenges that one can go through. I would now like to invite our final evaluator, and that is Yuseli, who will be evaluating Marie. So Yuseli, if you could come to the virtual stage and please share with us the speech objectives of Marie's speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Marie will present a speech on the project, Building a Social Media Presence. The purpose of this project is for her to apply her understanding of social media to enhance and establish new social media presence. The purpose of this speech is for her to share some aspect of her experience establishing or enhancing a social media presence. She will have 5 to 7 minutes to present the speech.
Thank you so much, Yuseli, for that. So with the speech title, Knowing How to Navigate the Digital Age to Build a Strong Social Media, knowing how to navigate the digital age to build a strong social presence. Marie, you may present your speech.
Are you lost in this impenetrable jungle of social networks? We are often confronted with the vastness of platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Every day, thousands of pieces of content flowed in, each vying for a fraction of our attention. But amid this digital cacophony, one voice can stand out. Yours. Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I would like to share with you how building a strong presence on social media. It's a challenge, a journey where every step matters. But it's also an unprecedented opportunity to share our vision, ideas, and values with the world. My example is drawn from the International Francophone Showcase, with its events on June 15, 2024. The International Summit of Francophone Speakers on how to rank in the top 5 Google search results through search engine optimizing SEO. Through 3 items: basics, media platforms, and audience. Firstly, we need to establish a solid foundation and determine our why. Who are we? Just like a building requires stable foundation, your online presence needs a strong domain name and a recognizable visual identity on the website. These elements are the starting point of our digital journey. The first impression you will leave on those who cross your virtual path. Next, it will be very important to choose our media platforms. It is how we interact with others. Each social network has its own particularities and audience. Understand where your audience resides and tailor your strategy accordingly. Facebook for social interaction, Instagram for visual storytelling, and LinkedIn for professionalism, and YouTube for video narration. Each of these platforms offers unique opportunities to share your story and engage with your audience. Lastly, we need to actively engage with our audience. Social media is not a monologue, but a dialogue. Create engaging posts, compelling stories, and respond to comments and messages. By cultivating an attentive community, you will transform passive observers into active commentators, and commentators into engaged actors. Dear fellow Toastmaster and guests, building a presence on social media is not easy. It takes time, efforts, and perseverance. But always remember this. Within every challenge lies an opportunity, and within every failure lies a lesson. So today, I call upon you to embrace resilience in leadership, to confront this digital jungle with grit and determination. Through your 3 items, basics, media platforms, and audience, may your online presence be a beacon in the sea of content, a source of inspiration and connection for those around you, with your family, or at your professional job, or with your hobbies. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Marie, for that. If in case you were unfamiliar with navigating social media and what it is required, I'm sure you have gleaned some information from the speech that Marie shared today. I like the fact that you said social media is not a monologue, it is a dialogue. And sometimes we can forget that. Thank you so much for that. I was going to say, timer, please share the timings in the chat. And I can see our timer is very efficient. He has done that already. So all the times are in the chat for all the speakers in case you want to know. So we'll then move on to the next part where I will request our Zoom master or whoever is in charge to please share the poll for the best effort speaker. So we have had a total of 6 speakers present today. I hope you were listening very carefully, as this is now your opportunity to just indicate who you thought was the best effort speaker. Right. Should be seeing something in front of your screen. So you, 7 speakers, including the toast. So please vote. You have about a minute to cast your vote. They always say every vote matters. So
Can it come up again or it's gone? Sorry, I missed it.
Zoom master, have you shared the poll? I think someone was making a comment to say it has already disappeared.
It's still on the screen.
I can't see it, that's why I'm.
Well, it's on the screen, so I don't know. You'll have to check your
Okay.
technology. Okay, thanks. Thank you very much. All right. You're done.
Okay, I can see that I've shared the results there. All right. Thank you so much for that. I guess Brahm was the one sharing the poll. I think, yeah, it looks like Hannah Schmidt, but I think that will be stated more in the next part. So we'll now move on to the next part of our meeting. So in Toastmasters, the beauty is that we get feedback for our speeches, and I'll invite, already I can see on our screen, our general evaluator, Ray, to please chair the next session of our meeting. Over to you, Ray.
Thank you very much, Leya. Today, we are going to get some quality evaluations for today's speakers. It is very important for our speakers, in order for them to approve, to get some good quality feedback on what they can improve upon, then incorporate that feedback into their next speech, because that's the ultimate goal, to develop the next speech, preferably better than the last time that they do the speech, and then you can progress upward and outward and to become a good quality speaker. With that, I am going to be introducing our first evaluator for the toast, our own Brahm Memone. Brahm, I think you got to show them how it's done. Over to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and especially Meltem Sahin, all the way from Istanbul and president of Bosphorus Toastmasters Club. Thank you so much for doing that. Toast, raising the toast is not an easy thing, especially if you've never been exposed to it. Certain Toastmasters Club in certain parts of the world don't do it. And here in our district, we actually all the time have toasts, and at the conferences and conventions, we have invocations, which is like raising a toast. And so we need to know how to raise the toast. And it's part of the social speech level. It's actually, yes, it's the 3rd level in most of the pathways as a social speech. And so today, Meltem was presenting from that social speech. Now you begin with, of course, the theme was resilience. You had to speak to the theme, which you did very well. You raised the toast by quoting Charles Darwin. And we all know about resiliency and Charles Darwin. And how did he phrase it? Well, you said Charles Darwin said it's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one that's best adapt and adjust to change. The actual quote is, of course, if you've thank you. The actual quote is, it is not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent, but the one that is best adapted and adjust to change. It's a little bit different, slightly different. And by the way, that is paraphrased because Charles Darwin never said that in The Origin of Species. So it's been paraphrased, and other institutions have done that. So if you can, Paramjit, if you can take care of the chat, the participants, that'll be great. You also mentioned emotional intelligence and how emotional intelligence and leadership works. So from organisms to Charles Darwin to adaptability to leadership and so on. That was very well done. And then here's the thing. How did you end? And you ended very well with today. You want to raise the toast to resilient leadership. Please unmute. And the toast was to resilient leadership. Perfectly done. You could have gone a little bit faster, emphasize certain words. Your Zoom presence is awesome. And I will give you more evaluation after this meeting. Back to you, Mr. G.
Thank you very much, Brahm. I liked how you included the use of not only the reminder of the Darwin quote and the use of emotional intelligence, but also as a reminder, not just to Meltem, but to all of us, the importance of learning how to deliver a social speech and using that as one of our projects for level 3. Next, we have Sabnam Saiyed, who will be evaluating Hannah Schmidt's speech. Sabnam, I'll turn it over to you.
Sabnam is doing the TMOD.
TMOD.
Oh, he's with the TMOD. I am so sorry. I'm out of order here. Sabnam, you are evaluating the TMOD. I apologize. Sabnam, could you please provide a good evaluation for our Toastmaster of the day?
President, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening from my side of the world, and specifically Toastmaster. I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronounce your name properly, our TMOD. Well, today, the way she conducted the meeting is like a masterclass in how you should be conducting a meeting. Some of the key points that I really liked about the way she conducted herself today were, first, her smiling face. Not even once throughout the entire meeting could I see her frown, or you could see that she's tired or she did not want to do it. She kept on smiling, and that exudes confidence. She knows what she's doing. Second, in the beginning of each and every speech and at the end of every speech, the way she introduced a speaker and the way she concluded, she made a connection with the speaker immediately, and the way she concluded, we knew that she actually listened to the entire speech because she had an anecdote ready with her at the end of each and every speech. Now, being a TMOD, this is not possible to listen to so many speeches in one day and then have something to say about it at the end of each and every speech. Secondly, yes, I'll again go back to my point, the way she introduced to the speakers today. She had an immediate connect with them, a smiling and a humorous way. The way she introduced everyone was spot on. Now, with everything, I think there are some suggestions that I would like to give her. One is her background. I think her personality is really pleasing. She has a very beautiful smile, but there's some clutter in the background in the form of some objects. I hope it's like free of everything. Then the entire concentration will go on her. And she is very confident, so that is not an issue with her, that she needs to shrug that confidence, that attention off. So it needs to be clear. That's only one thing that I could pinpoint, and I was fasting, yet I was just looking for something to say for suggestions, and this was the only point that came up because I really loved the way you conducted the meeting today. Over to you, and all the best for the future meetings.
Thank you very much, Sabnam. Sabnam, I apologize for not pronouncing your name correctly, so if please forgive me for that. And thank you very much for that evaluation. And for Leya, you know that you must have done a great job when the evaluator is struggling to find something to improve upon and something to challenge upon. So that is a very good evaluation to see that you have done a great job on doing your role as the TMOD. Next, and let me see if I can read the tiny writing on the agenda here, is our first leadership evaluator, Sandra Valks, who will be evaluating Hannah Schmidt's speech on understanding leadership style. Well, did Hannah do a good job stretching a 7-minute speech to about double the time? You tell us. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ray. And you, Hannah, you know, it's always an honor to be able to do an evaluation. And it's not easy to receive an evaluation. It takes grit, and you have grit to spare. What you presented us with was a celebration of leadership growth. That's what I got immediately. Speaking with the audience rather than to the audience. This is critical. It's how we connect. Now, the little getting unmuted incident at the beginning, I watched as you were starting in, and then they said, oh, you're muted, but you were very serious, ready to go. And then the unmuting, and that getting recovered from getting unmuted, put that smile on your face. And that's where I like to see Hannah living, because you exude, come on in for tea. I like to say it that way. You exude inviting us in, but not if you're going to worry about, well, I have to be serious. I have to get ready. That kind of thing about being serious and getting ready is important, but more important is your authentic self. You're relaxed and telling your story. I didn't see you doing a lot of reading. I'm sure you had your points where you were going to go, but I didn't see you getting engaged. Now, as you look at your replay, because don't forget, these recorded meetings are a gem to go back in and evaluate yourself. Where I'm going to invite you is what you see here with my hands getting into a rhythm. You have a rhythm. So even though your hand gestures were natural, you had this circular motion going and this motion going a lot. Just enough that I started to pick up on the rhythm. And when you do another bit of thinking, and it's not good, bad, or different, it's just something I noticed, you like to do a lot of thinking by throwing your head up and then coming back. Just interesting. Take a look, see if it's what you want, or if it's going to be like a grammarian and ah and something you want to take charge of. At the very end as well, it was like, oh, I'm at the end, and you were very serious again. Even though it was a high note that you were finishing on, I'm going to invite you, just like through a follow through on a baseball bat or a follow through on golf. The follow through on your speech is to stay in your enjoyment until you're completed. And completed means back to the Toastmaster and stay in the enjoyment. In summary, you have become a mentor and you have thrived on being mentored. You're passionate and you have a lovely, gentle humor, enjoying your growth with grit. I love that you are finding how amazing they are, where your servant leadership shines through. You are a cheerleader. Thank you. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so very much, Sandra, for that outstanding evaluation. I particularly liked how you illustrate the use of gestures since you were sitting down. You obviously had a limited range sitting down, but you used the gestures not only as a way to just rest on the use of the gestures, but they were ready for action, and you have demonstrated it over and over again to help with the evaluation of Hannah's speech. And I particularly love the quote, "These recorded meetings are a gem." That helps each and every one of us to study not only our speeches, but get ideas from others to try to see if we incorporate that into our speeches. We forget sometimes, especially when we're starting to speak here at Leadership Speak, we have to experiment with how we present ourselves, no matter how uncomfortable we might feel. Our next evaluator is Mrinal Kanti Ghosh, who will be evaluating our first speaker, Paramjit Singh. Oh, after Paramjit also was on mute, I went and I got this. Fortunately, I never had to use it. Thank you, speakers. But don't worry, we got a few more speakers on the way who could use this if they so choose. Mrinal, you're not one of them. You don't need it. So it's over to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmaster, and guests. At the end of the day, we all have stories, onus on us, how we make it impact to the audience. I especially thanks to greet Paramjit to make it happen, to share two transformation story with us. You capture the audience through your crutches and filler words throughout your own story. You capture the audience through 5P principles: prior, practice, prevent, poor performance. By the way, I also evaluate you through 5P, but in a different way. 5P means pause, pace, pitch, pronounce, and practice. Coming to the pause, I think this part you are excellence. Sometimes you are split like a bullet train. Sometimes you are slow down. Just to give an example, same. Cut down. Great way to capture the audience to start your speech. Then you're talking about two stories. In the school, when you play a role as a role of a Gandhi, and then you are humble like anything. So that's the USP. And use beautifully use of pace, I must say. You are sometimes you are so excitement, you're showing your excitement during your speech. When you got selected for the cruel roller of Wasir Khan, that time you show your excitement to the audience. Although you are a little bit nervous, that is also you're showing to the story to the audience. And finally, I love the most when the audience clapping for you, when you are awarded the best actor of the awards. Speech, you use excellence. When you got excitement, you slow down your speech when audience are clapping. So that's a great way to connect with the audience, and you throughout maintain that. Only two things you maybe practice. One part, I know that's required for us also, pronunciations part and enunciation. Sometimes best comes as a bust. So I think that little bit things we need to be careful about that and practice. One thing I just urge you, request you to practice, always better, because you are the king of humorous speech. So better you always deliver your speech in the standing position so you can see your body movement in a better way. So then connection with your vocal variety as well as your body language, that's create a next level. So overall, I must say your speech was fabulous in 5 parameters: pause, pace, speech, pronounce, and practice part with your 5P. Just little bit requirement, your body language movement that should be visible to the audience so that you can express your body language to the audience because it creates more value to connect with the audience. With that note, if you implement this part, I know that your speech will inspire by the many of Toastmasters or in your surroundings when you deliver your speech. With that note, all the best to Paramjit for your next speech.
Bravo, bravo. I have to admit that in my years of being a Toastmaster, I think this is the most time I've heard the use of the letter P throughout not only one speech, and it was already carried over to the evaluation. It's only a coincidence that our speaker's name started with the name of Paramjit. So that adds a very nice touch to it. Awesome. I love how you connected the 5 Ps with an additional 5 new Ps. I had to write it down, but thank goodness we're going to have the video to write them down over and over again. And that was, as Anjali pointed into the chat, priceless. And I love the words connect and capture the audience. How many times have we tried to do that, especially in a contest speech, to just grab the audience and say, I have a message that could resonate with you. And that's what Paramjit did today. Our next evaluator, well, she's got double duty, so let's see how she does with the first of our 2 speeches. Elena Constantino, I apologize for mispronouncing your name.
Don't apologize, it's fine.
Okay. Miss Elena, how about that? She will be evaluating for her first speech, Mario Spirinovski. And let's see what comments you can provide for this evaluation. And this is trying to manage a difficult audience. Usually we don't have a difficult audience at a Toastmasters meeting, but of course we have to go out and speak in the real world. So how did Mario do on it?
Hi, Mario Spirinovski. I'm so happy I can pronounce that. Where are you? Are you listening? So Mario, well done for taking up this challenge that even Brahm sort of advised you against. It's very difficult to manage an online difficult audience. And it was very difficult for us to provide you an educational experience. And I firstly have to apologize because I didn't think we prepared well enough for that. And that was partly my fault for what I said in the beginning. So what you did really well, and sorry I can't see you, wanted to talk to you. Yeah, so there you are. So, so thank you for your confidence in the beginning, trying to set a safe space. And I think you really excelled at being polite and courteous and recognizing your audience in all your responses. Now, unbeknownst to me, and again, I apologize for this, I prepared people, I instructed people not to give you many distractions because the distractions, and that was partly due to inadequate preparation and poor communication between us. I have to, again, partly my fault. I didn't understand my responsibility as an evaluator. However, I think the expectations, your expectations, and this is what I would advise you to work on. You had certain expectations, and when they didn't materialize, it was a little bit difficult to adapt. I'll tell you why I thought what you you're the major point for improvement. In terms of your distractions with the coughing, that was really very dignified. But you, I would urge you to remember that you have a Zoom master, and there's people here to help you. So in this meeting, you weren't alone. So you could have asked the Zoom master to mute and make sure that the person was taken care of and wasn't, dying in our meeting. Same thing with the noise. You could again have asked, because your purpose there was to deliver a message and not cater to 35 different people making noise. So I urge you to go to your resources and help, for help. You handled the questioning by one of the participants really well, and again with politeness, courteousness, and dignity. However, when you watch the recording, think about whether you got a little bit maybe distracted, you went a little bit off, or maybe you allowed too many questions from one particular person. That's always a challenge when you open the floor for feedback, for a conversation. So the last challenge, I'm going to take another 30 seconds. Apologies for this. The one difficulty of the audience that was hidden was the lack of engagement. You asked them twice to unmute, and nobody did. So that was the one thing that was difficult about this audience, that you can try next time you do this to work harder. Don't expect them to offer you distractions. Go out and seek the engagement. And that engagement would have driven your message home and would have created a more engaging and interesting and the kind of party meeting we wanted to have. So a hidden challenge there, totally unexpected. Good luck with your next try on this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elena, for your evaluation. My comments first to Mario. This is not an easy project to give, especially online, because it requires an interaction from the interrupters at unexpected times. And it's difficult enough doing this in front of a live audience. And I've done that both in the audience and online. I like how Elena expressed just the importance of planning this project. Well, as when we come to a level 4 and 5 project, you have the fundamentals down from the first 3 levels, and this is the time to just build up using those fundamentals. And that includes the preparation. Remember the 5 Ps that we emphasized from the last evaluation and in Paramjit's speech. Very important. Elena, I loved how you used the words humility and grace. Sometimes we are not able to prepare the best we can. We're not expected to prepare perfectly each and every time, despite prior practice prevents poor performance. Sometimes we may not have that luxury, but that requires an additional grit to do the best we can despite the circumstances, and that you have done. And speaking of dealing with unexpected circumstances, number 2 in your evaluation for today is coming up. Let me check the speech title. I always mess this up. Sandra, Subramanian. I would just love to hear how your evaluation is going to be for this speech. I'm looking forward to it. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting Sundar. I'm honored to be able to review and to have been a participant in this speech, because I felt the delivery was done with a lot of respect and gratitude towards life and the audience. And I was quite, very happy, pleased. I even got, like goosebumps, at the end when you tied everything together. So thank you for your compassion and a beautiful structure to this speech that, covered me in terms of your logos, and you had your pathos, your passion and your enthusiasm, your wide smile, and the credibility behind what we were talking about. Excuse me. Allow me to offer you 3 pieces of room for growth that were offered to me by my mentors and evaluators in the speeches. The first one is in terms of an icebreaker. How would you feel about presenting yourself through one of your superpowers, which I gather from you is entrepreneurship. So to take your level to your speech to a next level, you could tie in all your life experiences through this amazing resilience to adversities and entrepreneurship that you had, and really made a more poetic presentation of yourself. This is something that was suggested to me. The other thing that I was told by my husband when Brahm interviewed me first time after that keynote was that I do this pendulum, and I saw a little bit of that in you. And also what Brahm pointed out to me is that when I don't have a green screen, my hands get lost. Now I have a green screen, but your hands were getting lost. And that took away a little bit from the effectiveness and the power of your hands. And I wanted more. So that, and the last thing which was mentioned to me various times is that if I take my speaking just 5% slowly, a bit more slowly, people will understand my accent better, my words, and then I will have better vocal variety and intonation. So I offer you this gift as well of speaking a little bit, pacing it. So overall, thank you for the smile and the positivity. You were honest, but you were also quite caustic. And I see power of grit and resilience in your story. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Elena. Not only for this evaluation, but for the one before that, and for stepping in and doing a double evaluation today. I loved how you opened up with the importance of the compassion, the logos, the enthusiasm, and the importance of pacing, and the importance of smiling in the presentation. It is something not only that our speaker can benefit from, but also all of us as well. Our next evaluator is Vinod Panikkar, who will be evaluating Angela Brown's speech today. So Vinod, please present your evaluation.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Angela, listening to your speech, I felt that you are an embodiment of grit, determination, and courage. The way you spoke today, I really felt connected. You were very authentic. Whatever words you were speaking, I could see that it was directly coming from your heart. One good thing that I liked today was I could see you standing, because I have seen you previously giving speeches where you were most of the time sitting, but that is something that I liked today. You added a pinch of humor when you mentioned Dr. Google. And that is something I relate to, because even my wife does this. When she has a headache at 7 p.m., she will go to Google, and Google will show 500 reasons why that is dangerous. So please don't do that. I would recommend to everyone, never do that. But it was a very nice way, like what you said, you added that humor in that. You had told me to focus on structure, gestures, and volume. So let me first take the structure. I like the way you had structured your speech. You opened with a question. You closed with your learnings. You shared your learnings. And in between the body, there were two speeches that happened a year ago. And currently, as your life is up in the air, you narrated it very well. So structure-wise, opening, closing, and the body, it was fine. With the gestures, I think that there could have been opportunities where you could have used your body language in a better way. How could you have used that is, one, if you could have added like what you say, a demarcation. For example, when you said a year ago, but when you mentioned a year ago, you could have actually stepped a little side, like what you say, no. So it could have created a demarcation, and then you would have started telling, and when to the current, you could have come back to the center position. The second was volume. I felt it was a bit monotone. Every word that you said was connecting, but if you really want to make a volume, like what you say, a pace, pitch, volume, all this thing to add to this beautiful story, I would request you to add characters. You had two stories, and definitely there would have been a lot of characters, your doctor, your family members, anyone. If you could have added them and added a dialogue with them, there was an opportunity to have a vocal variety. Overall, I feel you are an authentic speaker. I really felt connected with each and every word. Whatever you have done till now, the suggestions that I have given, try to implement that. I am looking for more of your speeches. I hope on April 2nd, whatever results come, it would be good. And from up in the air, we will see you on the ground and giving more speeches. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so very much, Mrinal. That's a lot of very good tips and observations that you presented. I loved how you opened up by saying that there was something authentic, something that comes from the heart. For us as speakers, not only to tap into ourselves through our hearts to speak in front of the audience, but just trying to find the right words that can resonate with the audience, such as, I have something in common with you. There is something that I see in you. That is very astute observation. I loved how you also presented the structure and the idea of using characters and maybe just identifying pieces of the vocal variety to associate with those characters. That's an awesome idea. I think all of us could benefit from that. And very good evaluation for Angela. Thank you for those observations. Finally, we have Yusuli Joseph, who will be evaluating Marie Cuson's speech today. Yusuli, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Greeting to Toastmasters and guests, and especially Toastmaster Marie Cusson. Congratulations, Toastmaster Cusson, for this well-structured and organized speech. You had captivated introduction and by asking relevant questions to the audience about building a social media presence. And of course, we can be lost in the social media world if we don't know what to do. You continued by clearly explaining to the audience how many aspects about building media presence, like the domain that we should use, the domain name, and the platform purposes or platform objectives. You talk about for Facebook, this is what we can do with Facebook, with Instagram, with LinkedIn, and so on. And you emphasize on the importance of having or developing a good relationship with the audience, because being on social media is not a monologue, is a dialogue, and you encourage the audience to answer the question of our followers. And you conclude by a call to action and encouraging the audience to have grit and perseverance regarding building a social media presence. You had appropriate slides with good information in all your slides. The aspect that I want to encourage you to work on for your next presentation is your Zoom presence. As the character in your background were too big, during a part of the presentation, we could see only a part of your body. Next time, you can have smaller characters so that you can leave more space for you so that the audience could easily see all your body or half of your body. The other aspect that I would like you to work on as well is your personal anecdotes, because it's your job, you did the job you build the social media presence, but you didn't show to the audience any anecdotes about your personal experience in doing that. Other than that, you had a clear voice. You have presented as well with a lot of confidence. I really appreciate that. Once again, congratulations for your presentation. You had good content. I encourage you to work on your Zoom presence, and good luck for your next presentation. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Yusuli, for that evaluation. I love how you presented the positive things about this speech, such as the organized speech, the Zoom presence, and especially the quotes. The quotes is what I'm going to take away from this meeting. The social media is not a monologue by a dialogue. That is a great expression for all of us who use social media to promote our clubs, as an example. And that is very good to remember that. Second thing is just that I like the idea about the Zoom presence, because sometimes we forget about the Zoom presence, especially when we're sharing our presentations online. And one other thing that maybe you can include in another evaluation or in a future evaluation, whenever we do a presentation very similar to what Marie presented, this is always sets up to a lessons learned type of scenario. And yes, that is a level 5 project, and that can take a little longer, because sometimes when you try to do something in social media, sometimes you learn a lot more, and sometimes you get to be surprised about what you can use or learn from using social media. So very, very good evaluation. Thank you so very much. Just checking on my evaluation. John, thank you very much for posting the evaluators' time on this. Oh, yes. I got to present a little bit of a grit to Miss Anjali Wesson, who's going to let us know the, well, you know, so like both such and double clutch things that we might have used during the meeting today. Did you catch all that? Okay. That's up now. You can just share with us.
Thank you, GE Ray. This is my first time showing up here with Leadership Speaks, and I would recommend for all these speech gems be positively treasured easier when you're here live at Leadership Speaks, because fellow guests and LS leaders, I invite you to right-click select all in our chat when you're live to be able to get these gems and quotes. I've been posting it throughout the speeches. So right now we have it at roughly 13 times the word grit was used. And just when I thought the #1 word of the day user was going to be Sandra, here comes in Brahm with that 4th cut of grit inside of the chat. That is what makes him an amazing speaker, being able to spontaneously sprinkle things in. From there, improper grammatical use and suggestions for improvement. Hannah, I really would recommend that you look into how you are using authoritarian and autocratic. You used it a couple of times in your speech, but it wasn't explained on how it is autocratic and authoritarian. Paramjit, Fatsu, unknown what that means. Sundar, the marriage happened. Sounds at best technical, at worst, a catastrophe. Suggestion would be blessed with my better half or sunshine of my life, my wife, because going with your speech. Elena, hey, whoop, whoop. If I had the counter and the clutch words, yay, that this is a gem that you can recordings, please come back to it. I know, I'm right there with you. And again, all of these wonderful quotes, thoughts, words, and sayings. If you're here live, you have the opportunity to get these treasures right there. Select all and continue. Please come back and join us. Bye for now. Seek the engagement.
Thank you very much, Anjali. And now, my report on how the meeting went. It started on time, and we opened up with the word of the day, used well both during the meeting and online in the chat. I love that greeting from Botswana. What? Let me see if I can pronounce that right. Dumalan. Thank you for sharing that. As a multicultural club, we can always learn more greetings from each other, the way that so that it's a way to just get ourselves closer together, no matter where we are in the world. So far, I like that we have. Let me check our time here. We're just a little bit ahead of, little bit behind schedule, not too much. And I liked how we used our quotes, the way that we use the letter P for a lot of these statements, prior practice prevents poor performance. The way, and Anjali, thank you very much for putting those quotes into our chat. And also thank you, Marie, for including some of your quotes about the use of social media. And with every challenge lies an opportunity. Within every failure lies resilience. I can't think of a better quote that really reflects off our meeting theme, and that is out of so many. So overall, I felt that we had a very good meeting, learning opportunity here to improve ourselves, and we demonstrated that in our speeches today. And with that, I will turn this over back to our Toastmaster of the day, Leya.
Could you call for the poll?
Oh, yes, of course. We don't know who's the best evaluator. Can we go ahead and launch the poll, please?
We have some technical difficulties.
Should we wait or continue onward?
Let's continue with the.
Okay, hopefully the technical difficulties will be resolved. I'll turn this meeting over to Leya. Leya, can you go ahead and take over the meeting while we're waiting for our final poll?
All right. Thank you so much, Trey, for chairing the evaluation session. Like we say, evaluations is where we help all the members to grow and progress. I'd now like to invite Mamadou to please come to the virtual stage and share the thought of the day.
Dumelan.
Dumela.
What a privilege. Yes, and what a privilege to just speak after the grammarian, which means I can even actually get away with whatever I say here. So what I like with John Maxwell is that he's an incredible leader and an incredible teacher, trainer. And what it is that everything rises and falls on leadership, which means that everything demands the influence of leaders, of the leader's effectiveness in achieving outstanding results, which means that amid chaos, the leader thrives. Leaders are absolutely resilient. They turn lemons into lemonades. And I like what Mary said in her speech. In the biggest challenges lie opportunities. Oh, wait, leaders go further. They embrace what Nassim Taleb calls anti-fragility. The resilient resist shocks. The anti-fragile thrives and flourishes on shocks. Like the tennis ball, the harder they are hit, the higher they bounce back. So as leaders, we willingly step into our fears. And as Ryan Lake's book suggests, we actually chase failure. And at Leadership Speak, we are always chasing failure relentlessly, which builds our courage, grit, resilience, anti-fragility. And what's really interesting is that fear becomes our path because we chase failure and we go after what we want relentlessly. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Mamaji, for that, the thought of the day. And at this point, I think you'd have all seen the poll for the evaluation. I hope you have all posted. Oh, there we go. Seems like the results have been shared. So according to the agenda, this is the point where we get the results. I can see for the evaluation, our best effort evaluator is Mrinal and Sandra. And I think from the so well done. I'm not sure if the certificates are ready now or they will be shared later on. And then I remember for the best speaker, if I am correct, it was Hannah. Zoom Master can just confirm for me whether the certificates are ready or they'll be shared later.
They will be shared by Meltem when she's ready, so you could ask for her, or when you pass
All
it
right.
to them when they're ready.
Okay, so thank you so much. But in terms of what happened today, I think the results were also shared. We were all able to see that. So congratulations for that double win for our evaluators. And from me, as your Toastmaster of the day, I will just end with this quote by David Goggins, the famous runner, athlete, speaker, writer, all sorts of things that he has done, where he says, resilience is a choice. It's choosing to rise above your circumstances, no matter how difficult, and become the person you are meant to be. So I hope that as a leader, you strive to be resilient, to ensure that indeed you do become the person that you were meant to be. I'll now hand over to our interim, or should I say interim, or someone who's just stepping in for our president for the day, Brahm, to give the final comments before the end of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Leya. And you can remain here on the screen with me. Mr. President is not able to attend today, Asif Said. So as the VP of Education, I'm here, and as a club founder. Resilience is so important, especially for a new club. Leya, you would agree as a division director, you know how important it is for a club to get a strong foundation, especially if you're an advanced club. People from all over the world have their own perception of what the club looks like because they're exposed to one way of doing things. And then they come here and it's very different. So that grit and the ability to have the resiliency to create a strong foundation takes time. And now we are past 2 years, you can see the fruits of that labor of grit and resiliency amongst all of our members here as to what we've really built. And it's only in the third year that it'll really begin to show up. Like any organizational development, that is the route any organization takes when it's a brand new organization. And our club is brand new with regards to that. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all having that grit, that resiliency to be here and to be our members. Leya, what do you think?
Yes, I think definitely it was a very interesting meeting, and indeed to be able to strive, we definitely need to be resilient because we will face challenges and difficulties. So we should be resilient as leaders.
Leya, thank you so much for being the Toastmaster of the day today. And I think we are ready to display the certificates. They're actually in the chat. Okay, they're in the chat anyways. So Meltem, thank you very much for putting them in the chat. Hannah Schmidt, and I think they're all there. Sandra Valks, and there was the other one, right? Who was Mrinal.
Yes, it's the time. That is why I didn't prepare the certificate for them.
No problem. So when it's ready, just post it there. Thanks so much, Meltem, for doing that. Okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will adjourn the meeting, and I will ask the guests to be here so that we can talk to the guests and acknowledge them. So this meeting is adjourned officially. So let me do my multitasking and see where the record button is and switch off the recording. There it is.